Hey, hello everyone. I hope that everyone can hear me. Okay, well, I see that there are other people here. So this is the time that we set. So let's start. I think this is the best thing to do. So we are going to talk today about water management in hydroponics. Okay, it's important in hydroponics, not in the open field. All right, it's not for woods, it's not for anything else. Hydroponics mainly. I will start with presenting myself, as you can see. So I am Noam. I'm a professional agronomist, and I'm the head manager of product in GrowDirector. I am 13 years now practicing as an agronomist. I used to work with the largest seed companies, Hazera, Syngenta, like those. I am specializing now in the movement of transferring regular greenhouses to the IoT and the AI agriculture. We will talk about it later. I am driving the innovation in GrowDirector. That means that every time that somebody has a new idea, it goes directly to me. And yeah, usually I'm trying it. Me in personal and we as a company GrowDirector, we have already automated more than 40 commercial farms. Even today, I did another installation. I think it was over the 60 now. We take regular greenhouses, regular NFT or DWC, different platforms, converting them from a regular dumb greenhouse, let's say only fans and stoves and things like that you need to operate manually. We connecting them into our system to the internet and making it complete automated systems. So efficient water management is one of the most concerns in all farms. It's not about using less water, but the question is about using it right. We are going to deep dive into it because we need to understand it's not how much water you have, it's how you use it. And it's a big difference. So we have few different things in mind. We have the water quality and the timing, which means better water management and to optimal growth plant. The water quality, we all know, it means the pH, right? The acidity that we have in our water system, in our water circle. The EC, the electrical conductivity, how much salt or fertilizer do we have? More salt means more fertilizer, means higher EC. It doesn't mean that the highest EC is the best. We need to maintain in certain ranges because if we're going to have too high EC, it's not good for us. It's not good for the plant. And of course, it's if the EC is lower than some average, again, the plant will kind of starve. All right, they will be hungry. We will see the necrosis. We will see how the green colors convert into a lighter green. By understanding this, we can start manage correctly our water. When do I add fertilizers and why? When do I add acid and why? Maybe I need to add calcium. All right, if the pH is too low, I would like to add calcium into our water reservoir in order to maintain it stable. By understanding this and understanding the other parameters of the water, the NPK, and all the other micro elements and micro elements, by understanding this and our water cycle ritual, we will get the optimal plant growth. Now we need to remember that in each plant, he has his own, let's say, growing rate according to his phase. So if we will take a tomato, for example, our first period of time, the first 2-3 weeks, it's not even growing, right? It's really slow now. Only after we start having the first real flowers, we will want to change something in our water management. After we have the green tomatoes, we will change it again, breaking color, another change, and later on. So, as I said, the water management in hydroponics is the process of optimizing the nutrient solution quality and availability to ensure the health growth of plants in a soilless environment. This is basically what I just said. All right? By understanding the water management, the water circle, the water ritual, the difference between the NPK and how it changes my EC and how it acts combined in a mesh with the acidity and not only the salinity, we need to understand it in order to get a better water management. The water management includes all of the above, actually. It's the water quality, the nutrient solution, the irrigation management, oxidation. Let's stop a minute on the oxidation. We always want to make sure that our plants have enough oxygen in the water, because we might think that in running water we have always enough oxygen, but it's wrong. All right, it's really not that. In summer, for example, when temperature is high, the water can't hold enough oxygen. So I will add more oxygen into my system. I can do it with several different options, but I will need to add oxygen to my water, or just to cool down the water, of course. All right, if the water are in between, let's say, 17 to 21 Celsius degrees, it's fine. So I can maybe just chill the water a little bit. But it's something that we need to understand and we need to think about it. This is something that usually growers don't think about, the oxygen in the water. We can check it, of course. We have the DO, dissolved oxygen probes, so we can check the amount of saturation in the water. Let's proceed. Of course, if there's any questions in the end, there will be a question and answer part. So write it down. You can write it to the platform that you are using now, and you will be. And I will promise that I will answer each and every one of you, and you, of course. Another thing that we need to remember is the temperature control, waste reduction, monitoring and adjustments, and of course, automation. What is your current manager practice? Let's see it. We have different kind of practices to water management, but there are a lot of different challenges. The practice can be an NFT, which are tunnels. It can be in a DWC, deep water culture. It can be also in a different kind of substrate, like tuff or coconut. But the problems are usually the same. Now let's think about it not as a problem, but as a challenge. The challenge and the pain points in hydroponic management are usually the next. The water quality control. It is very hard to maintain the water quality as we want it to be. The water quality control and monitoring are crucial for the crop health and must be quick, accurate, and on a real time. Think about it. If it won't be in a real time, that means that my employee is walking around the field, testing the water reservoir, writing down in his notebook, take it back to the office. Few hours later, the agronomist check it, and then he needs to decide what to do. While actually the event has already passed. We are now challenging and facing a complete different thing. It's not that tiny problem that we had earlier. We are now have multiple problems. Nutrient management, as I guess that everyone understands, we must always see the amount of NPK, theon, mangan, magnesium, etc. We need to understand it because this is what control our EC. All right, precisely balancing nutrient solution for different plant growth stages. We need to be able to divide each segment in our greenhouse or in our field, in our farm. We need to understand that this greenhouse number 1, plot number 3 is now only in the plantation. It doesn't need what my tomato needs when it's in the harvesting phase. System maintenance. We need always to make sure that the hydroponic setup operates efficiently through routine checks. That means that I need to check that my pipes are not plugged. I need to check that my probes are working as it should. I need to make sure a lot of different things. Oxygenation, of course, providing the sufficient oxygen to the root zone. I need you to understand if we don't maintain the right amount oxygen in the root zone, we will eventually gonna get a anaerobic situation which provide different kind of diseases and our root just sophisticate, they will just die, all right, for no oxygen. Cleaning, of course, we need to make sure that everything is clean, and record keeping. We need to keep detailed log for information management for a decision, because if we don't keep it, if we won't be able to understand from the past, if we can't analyze what we just had, it actually means that we don't move forward. If I can't learn from the past, I will never be able to understand for the future. Let's talk about some real customers. All right, this is a real greenhouse. It's not a demo. It's not a proof of concept. It's not a small backyard grower. It's a real grower. Now, this grower, he built his facility probably 12, 15 years ago when the automation wasn't so well known. So he had no control over water stability. He didn't know his EC, pH, DO. He lost few times because of poor quality of water. He lost a lot of money. All right, that is a lot of money. He's actually, before we came there, he used to check each pool only once in a couple of weeks. Okay? That means that he could correct his parameters only once in 2 weeks. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of missing incomes, of course, sorry. After he came, I am now checking and balancing his reservoir. I'm not balancing, I don't put a probe in each pool, but I am controlling the whole reservoir. We actually build a pretty nice system there that every few minutes, let's say every 60 minutes, every 1 hour, I'm taking 100 liter from each pool, analyze it, correct it, and bring it back to the pool. Now it means that I am reducing his labor cost dramatically, and also I've reduced his waste of chemicals and fertilizers again dramatically, because now I keep balancing it only when it's out of range, which means that usually it's stable. And if it's not stable, I am there to correct it even before the grower knows that. The entire greenhouse was automated by connecting all the equipment and sensors under the roof of GrowDirector. Key parameters, what to measure. This is, I guess, the $1 million question. All right, what to measure, because I can check millions of different parameters. I can check the amount of mangan, I can check the magnesium, I can check freon, I can check calcium, I can check a lot of things. But let's start think about what is really important. Now, of course, everything is important, but let's try with the really crucial topics. pH is, well, as you understand, it's the acidity of the water. It depends on the crop. It depends on the size of the crop, or the growing phase where it is. But the pH acts also as a gatekeeper for nutrient uptake. Too high or low pH, it means that I cannot observe enough fertilizers and other micro and macro elements, by the way, right? Because if the pH is too calcium too high, is higher than 7, there will be some elements that will not be observed by my by my roots. EC, electrical conductivity, it reflects the total dissolved solid, the TDS, as people like to say that, in the solution, including nutrients, of course. High EC indicates high nutrient concentration. Again, it's not exactly what we need. We need to have the right amount of EC and not just pour thousands of gallons of fertilizations. Sorry. Oxygen level, again, without sufficient enough oxygen in the water, my roots will just die for not enough oxygen. The situation, the system, the environment will become anaerobic, and my plants will die. Literally like that. They will die. They will die in the water. They will die for not enough oxygen. I need to check it. I need to understand it. Now, again, there are plenty of different options how to maintain it and how to control it. Free fall, by the way. All right, it's the easiest thing to do, but there are other things. Water temperature, I guess that everyone understands why do I need to check the water temperature. It influences the root function, nutrient uptake, and overall plant metabolism. If the water is too high or too cold, it will dramatically affect my plants. Why to measure? All right, before we talked about what to measure, now it's the why. We have the observe, the macronutrient, the NPK, the secondary, the micro, the micro elements, etc. The plant gets it, observe it, and then I can see the outcome, the outline. All right, I get the organic acids, the sugars, the amino, the everything else. Actually, it's very important to check what I bring and what I get later on. The drip, all right, the runoff, it says. Because then I can know how much fertilizer I add and how much it ran off. And I can tell by that how much nutrients actually my plant got. Now, effective measurement and automation techniques. So, of course, first we have the digital meters and sensors, the automated dosing system, climate control, and the data logging. These are really crucial things that we must do. The digital meters and sensors make sure that we don't need a lot of workers. We can reduce our man labor in the greenhouse, all right, because it all goes digital. So I get all the information from my digital sensors. It goes to some kind of a cloud brain. And then my automated dosing system can control the amount of nutrients or acids or oxygen, maybe. I need to balance it with the climate control because, as we said earlier, in here, the water temperature, sometimes I would like to chill my water a little bit. It will help my whole system, it will help my plant, and it will help and chill the environment of the root and the system and the plant, sorry, in the crop. And it might actually reduce the amount of diseases that you will face in front of them. And data logging. Again, if I can't learn from the past, I will never be able to prevent myself for the future. Digital meters and sensors increase the accuracy. It minimizes the human error and it ensures a reliable data for informed decisions. The real-time monitoring continuously track parameters. It continuously telling me what is wrong and what is good. The calibration tips. Regularly, we need to calibrate those meters with certificate solutions to maintain their accuracy. pH is something that, yeah, well, what can we say? We need to balance it. We need to calibrate it approximately once in a month. All right? It's once in a month, not once in a blue moon. We need to do it because usually they are okay, but it's only usually. I want it to be always. So once in a month, yeah, I will need to balance it, to calibrate it, sorry. Also EC, well, actually EC is quite stable, but again, let's say calibrating it once in 2 months, it's not taking a lot of time, and we need it. Our plants need it, Our plants is our money because we need to grow it, we need to eat it, we need to sell it. Advanced sensors, of course, explore the options like multi-parameter sensors offering combined readings. For example, usually the EC probe is combined with a water temperature, all right, because it reflects them each other. So always we can think about advanced sensors and not only one parameter. Samples of sensors. You can see here, it's a picture that actually I took. It's in a greenhouse. They are growing a duckweed, really good for protein, it said. We can see here two different parameters. By the way, it's in the middle of the desert, really middle of the desert, and it's a fantastic place. Really nice guys also. We can see here two different sensors. We can see on the right, we can see the pH sensor, and from the left, we can see the EC and the water temperature sensor. While investing in high-quality industrial-grade digital meters sensoring, pH and EC, dissolved oxidant, you can't see it here because, well, when I took the picture, we didn't have it. And of course, the water temperature. Everyone must understand that using industrial-grade digital meters, it says that it's good just like the laboratory ones, but they are more robust, more stable, and they are suitable for greenhouses. All right, it's not for the laboratory. This one are going to a real rough terrain, real rough situations, temperature way higher 40 Celsius, and we need those sensors to be reliable, strong, robust, and feasible. The automated dosing system, well, of course, ensuring consistent delivery based on predefined schedules or a real-time sensor reading. Think about it as getting your immune system. I am proactive against different things. Okay, I am doing a preset rules, and I can protect myself from the unknown. And you, as a growers, know that every day we have something new that is not known for us. But it also reduced our labor costs because I don't need those employees to go and check everything and operate manually. Precise nutrition delivery. If I can check the EC and pH, I know that I can maintain them in the right ranges. Scalability, easily manage a complex setup and large-scale operations. And advanced system, again, explore options with multi-channel dosing, pH, EC, feedback loops, and integration with other environmental control systems. Very important. Let's talk about our system now, the HydroDirector. Again, this is our one of the 6 different models, and you can see it in a greenhouse. Let's talk about the HydroDirector. It has 3 built-in dosing pumps. Each dosing pump gives us 12 liters per hour, which is 4 gallons per hour. It's not replacing your water system. Okay, it's not replacing your big pumps. This one is just for balancing the EC and the pH. At the back plate of this model, we have 3 built-in sensor ports, of course, for EC and temperature, for pH, and for DO, dissolved oxygen. I can also add there, by the way, the ORP, but let's leave it for now. The HydroDirector is completely independent. It's a standalone model. I don't need another computer. I don't need another system. I don't need anything else to work with that. It's a standalone. It has its own probes. It checks the water reservoir continuously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never asks for a break. It never asks for a day off. It just works for you. It's completely wireless, of course, and it automates connection, which means that it's a plug and play. Just plug it to the electricity and start grow. Environmental control. Integrated automated system to manage temperature, humidity, light radiation, CO2 level, etc. It, of course, the obvious, it is improving the yield because I am creating a better optimal growing environment. I am providing the plant exactly what he needs. All right, and by this, I am getting much better yield. It reduced the energy consumption because, again, I am always in balance. I don't need to wait till a dramatic event to operate my heating system, my HVAC, my heating or AC system. I can control it all time in the same ranges. Disease prevention. By maintaining the right conditions to prevent diseases outbreaks, it is important. Remote monitoring and control, of course, everything is from remote. I would like to do it always, no matter where I am, to be able to check it. Data logging. Collect everything, all the information, and analyze it in order to get a better understanding of my greenhouse. Understand how your system and plant respond to changes. It's enabling us a proactive adjustments. I can identify potential issues before they even causing a problem. I can know that in greenhouse number 4, segment B, there is some problem with air movement, which means that the, let's say, humidity, for example, is too high. It means that I am going to face some problems over there. Maybe downy mildew, maybe powdery mildew, maybe other kind of diseases, but I will be able to identify the exact location and to correct it. Tracking progress and comparing to past cycles. If I can learn from the past, I can protect my future. Exploring a cloud-based data logging platforms. Very important for being able to analyze it, all my information, and make sure that everything is correct. Software showcase. You can see here a real-time data monitoring. You can see here a real-time data monitoring, advancing the water EC, the water pH, and the air temperature. The grower can see if it's for a week, for a month, for a year, for a day, exactly what happened in the past, and he can always see his current value. I don't know if you can see my screen, but my pointer, but you can see here the current value. Okay, here, for example, current value is 6, while the pH, when he decided to check it, it was on the 2nd of August and 1 p.m. it was 5.95. You can see the changes. Now the big question is how to act. Collecting data continuously and then understand each parameter role and the ideal range, it gives me the option to analyze trends over time and to correlate data with plants' health and growth phase. When I collecting my information, my data, I can understand, and I understand every parameter, what it means. I can analyze it and to understand it and to prepare myself for the next season. Because every grower must always think not only today, but what will happen next season. This is our real pain point, the next season. And then adjust based on data. I can use my software in the app for data interpretation, implement the predictive analyze, share and consult, which means that I can prepare myself by understanding, and if there's any question, I can share it and get a consult according to a database, and not just because I think that it was hot today or the humidity was high or low. I have real data and the result. You can see here how it looks again in a real greenhouses. You can see here our HydroDirector. It connected to the tablet above, and it's controlling the whole water management, EC, pH, etc. in the greenhouse. Nutrients. Let's talk about nutrients. Maintaining the optimal conditions, monitoring, and again, monitoring. If we will be able to monitor our water nutrients, it's our, let's say, the holy grail, all right? Monitoring is really important to understand, but just monitoring doesn't give me anything. I need to be able to adjust myself. So it's not just set and forget. Okay, I need to understand how to use it and why. Adjust the concentration based on plant stage, environmental conditions, and water usage. And then considering the automation, of course. Explore automation dosing system for precise and consistent nutrient delivery. It will save time and resources, a lot of resources. Again, always think how much nutrients have I added to my system, and now think about cut it by half every cycle, again and again. Sensitivity is a key. Nutrient imbalance, even the slight deviation from optimal levels can cause, well, it can affect our plants. It can get me a nutrient burn or reduce yield. The plant response, they observe the plant closely. Visible signs like these color leaves, when it becomes light green and not nice bottle green. And abiotic factors like temperatures, pH, water, and all the other important things that we need to understand and always make sure to control them. Let's continue. Mistakes. The pH amplitude, the cleanliness riddle, and the data blindness. Utilize, well, again, let's talk as if it's for automation strategies. Utilize pH controls with auto dosing for stable pH. Regularly calibrate your pH meter. Implementation, regular flushing, explore UV sterilization, and the data. Integrate sensors and data logging systems to monitor key parameters such as pH and EC. Analyzing trends to identify potential issues before they even impact your crop. The nutrient overload, monitoring the prevent. Of course, we want to prevent it, so we will monitor the EC and adjust the nutrient solution based on our plant needs. Consider pulses feeding sometime, and the automation overlays. By gaining a deep understanding of your system and the science behind it of the hydroponic, use automation as a tool, not as a replacement for you. There is and there will never be automated system that can replace the grower. You know your greenhouse better than everyone. Use the automation system as a helper, as something that helps you to think about other things. Because now you can't. You need to think about your water management, you need to think about your EC, your pH, you need to think about chemicals, you need to think about pesticides, you need to think about nylon bags, about commercials, about workers, man laborers, fuel rates, gas, so many things. Think of the automation system as your helper, as someone that will always be there for you to help you to prevent those events. Thank you, everyone. And I really hope that you learned something. I hope it was interesting. I must tell you that I was a bit nervous in the beginning, but I hope it was okay. And thank you very much. The Q&A session will be immediately. I just want to tell you, everyone, that the upcoming events, we have the Indoor AgCon in Las Vegas that we are preventing. We are showing there, of course. We have a booth. You are more than welcome to jump over and say hi. You will be able to meet Dima, the CEO of GrowDirector and the co-founder. There is another, the Green Tech in Amsterdam in June. The Cultivate 24 in Columbus, Ohio. Great show to be. Really, I think that I've learned so much in there. And the AgriMe in Dubai in October 7 next year. Now let's go back to the Q&A session. If there's any questions, I am waiting. Any questions? Let's hold another minute. All right. I see see that we have a first question. Thank you very much. The question is how really important it is for me to check and balance the pH continuously and not do it, let's say, once in a week. So thank you very much, DD, for asking this nice question. The importance of checking the pH is because pH is an important, very important and crucial parameter in our whole phase of growing. All right. Let's think that if the pH is too low, which means the acidity is really high, my plant will die. If the pH is too high, which means the calcium is higher, I won't be able to absorb many of my nutrients. So always I need to make sure that my water pH balance between, let's say, not for aquaponics, all right, let's think that we are not growing fishes inside, all right, only plants, only lettuce or tomatoes. So we need to make sure that the pH level are in between 5.5 and 6.5. Very important. So yeah, we need to make sure that we are controlling it continuously to make sure that we won't get ourselves harmed for no reason. All right, I see that we are kind of running out of time here. So again, I would like to say thank you, everyone. You can contact us by email, by phone, WhatsApp. You can schedule a meeting directly with me. You can email us to the info or to my personal, actually. If you want, it's a Noam, Noam, at GrowDirector.com. I will tell you again, thank you very much, everyone. It was really a pleasure being here with you all, especially you. And I will leave this open for comments. And if there's any questions, I will be more than happy to answer every one of you in the comments. Again, feel free to contact us by LinkedIn, by Instagram, Facebook, email, or schedule a direct meeting. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure being here with you. Thank you.